Hey, what's up? I'm making a video about joining the Navy as an older guy. And yes, those are lake curtains over there. A little Hawaiian theme in my room. Might be a little weird, but I'm okay with it. So, I don't know how long it'll be until my roommate comes back, and I hate making videos while he's in the room because it seems kind of weird when someone's listening on. So, okay. When I joined the Navy, I was 29. Still am 29. I'm almost 30. Before here, I was a track coach for 4 years after college. Track and field coach at Manchester University. That's in Indiana. Coached there 4 years, and I was a special education teacher for like a year and a half after that, and also coached track at one of the local high schools there. And so I've had a little bit of experience being away from home and stuff like that as an older guy. So that aspect of boot camp is usually the worst for the younger guys and younger females. They don't know what it's like to be away from family and friends. Me, on the other hand, I moved several states away from my first job out of college, so I've had time to get used to that kind of thing. So older people, it's a lot easier to handle boot camp, and you can actually tell. You can see the frightened look on a lot of kids' faces. By kids, I mean 18, 19-year-olds. I'm that guy now. But when you get there, it's not really that much to worry about. For older people, they expect a little bit more out of you at boot camp once they find out you're old. Usually they don't even check, and they don't even look unless you look old. I don't look that old. People thought I was like 24 or 25 when I was in boot camp. And I didn't even bat an eye that I was older. But I had an older guy in my division that kind of took the pressure off of me for being the second oldest guy. He was 37, and he was kind of a badass. He was from Africa. He lost his family. They were killed. So yeah, he's that guy, and he got a waiver and he joined the military and to get citizenship or something like that. I forgot the way he phrased it, but yeah, he was legit. He wasn't an aggressive guy himself, but he's been through some stuff, and it's pretty rough and tough. And people looked up to him not because he was older, but because he's been through so much. But older people, it's not that that uncommon. I said I was the second oldest, but I'm not. My division was integrated. We had males and females. So our female half of the division was on the other side of the hallway in another barracks room with another integrated division. So it was like half one division of guys from one division and half of the other from the other division. Males living over here, and across the hall, two separate divisions, same deal, half and half. Were females over there. But they had a 35-year-old, a 33-year-old, and a 28-year-old. So no one really cares, really, unless you act like that guy that knows everything. Like, oh, back in my day, you should do this because you're a kid and I'm an adult. There was a 26-year-old in my division, guy, male. He did that, and he was not looked favorably upon. A lot of people hated him. He was a nice guy, but he came off like a real douche when he came to age. Like, I know better. Bro, listen to me. I'm older than you. But just if you're older, don't shove it down people's throats. It should be obvious. You don't want to make enemies in boot camp. That's a horrible thing because you're stuck with them for 8 or 9 weeks. So just learn to, roll with the punches. If people like poke at your age, who gives a shit, really? I mean, they didn't poke at my age. They called me dad after a while, but that's only because I acted like a dad, and I'd make sure they didn't get in trouble for certain things. I look after them, just being a good shipmate is basically what it is, being a good fellow recruit in your division. And once they found out I was older, and they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why you're acting like a dad. But being old isn't that bad. So I've covered that it's a lot easier to acclimate to the boot camp situation. They expect a lot more out of you. Well, not a lot more, but, for you not to act like a kid at boot camp, the RDCs do. And the RDCs do they stay away from you a lot because you're older. They don't have to train you and they didn't do these like fresh out of high school kids. But yeah, they spend a lot more time on the kids because they usually have attitude problems. We're older, we're set in our ways. It's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, or so they say. I'm not that old. I'm still very, very in shape and very youthful. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I have a few gray hairs somewhere in there, but they're hard to see. But I look a lot younger than some of the 22, 23-year-olds that are in our division who are already balding and stuff like that. So being old and joining the Navy isn't a bad idea. I mean, if you have some experience, you can go in as an E3. If you have any college whatsoever, that's for anybody in general. If you go in with a college degree, automatic E3. Um, and if you go in with over a certain amount of credits, automatic E3. So you start at a higher pay grade if you have some experience along those lines. And if you're like 35, you have no college under your belt, and you join at an E1, it might be a step up in your life. I'm not sure. I mean, statistically, half of your life is gone, and you're starting the second half in the military uh, at the very bottom. I mean, depending on how your life was, it could be a step up. It's not a bad choice no matter what. It depends on how far you are in life and what your goals are. I have a degree. I'm planning to go officer in a few years after I get a good few military references on my application. I had an okay GPA, but I was told by my recruit at a recruiting station that it usually takes about a year to process for officer candidate school. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and go active, get the ball rolling, find a couple military uh, military references to bolster my my application, because it does take a shorter time for military applicants because they look at those first and then go to the civilian sector, because that's just how it is. But being older, not bad. And if you're married with kids, it is a good deal. However, it puts a lot of stress on the relationship. I know a lot of married people in the military. The divorce rate actually is a little bit higher if you're married and join the military. I mean, yeah, you might want to think about it twice if you're married. If you're not married, great, go, boom, yeah, you're good. Just be wary about who you marry while you're in the military, because there's a lot of military gold diggers. And by gold diggers, I don't mean like, oh, they're going after like just getting free shit. You know, they're going after happy or retirement for the rest of your life. That kind of thing. Half your BAH until they get remarried. They get that if they divorce you. It's just like one of the Navy rules. It's not like a legal thing for the U.S. It's just a Navy military policy in general. What else is there about being older? Let me think for a few seconds. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, PFA. The fitness requirements are a little bit lower for older guys, which for me, I've almost maxed out. The only thing I didn't max out on my last PFA was my run. I was like 20 seconds off. I'll get it this time. I just wasn't in shape in boot camp, because boot camp wrecked my life. It really did. I was in better shape before boot camp, but as older guys have less physical requirements. Push-ups at my age, I'm in the 25 to 29 age group right now. I think the minimum is like 34. Just do 34. For 18-year-olds, it's like 45 or something like that. So it gradually goes down. The run for 18-year-olds is like, you got to get it in under 13 minutes. I don't know how far under 13 minutes, but for mine, it's like 14:30. There's an extra minute and a half. And when I go up to 30 years old, which isn't that far away, shoots up like another 40 seconds. So physical requirements aren't that bad. Unless you were a couch potato until you're like 30 and then try to join the military, then you're going to have some trouble. You might want to wean yourself in just a little bit. But as far as age is concerned in the military, you might get picked on a little bit by a few of the guys, but that's only because they're stupid, and they're probably not 18 or 19 and probably still sucking at their mom's teat. That kind of thing. Haven't lived on their own for a while, but you appreciate the military a little bit more as an older person. I don't have to pay for healthcare insurance anymore. That's great. That's an extra $200 or $300 a month right there, just back in my pocket. I don't have to pay for food. Well, I do sometimes, because I don't like eating at the galley all that much. But kids kind of, people straight out of high school kind of take that for granted, that kind of stuff for granted. And they get out into the real world after boot camp, and they just go hog wild, like, where'd all my money go? It's because you spent it on food, and you could have eaten at the galley. And but I mean, I saved tons of money just not having to pay for insurance, not having to pay for a place to stay. That's great. Not having to pay for utilities or food, or I mean, I don't have to pay for clothes, but I buy extra clothes and lay curtains. That's actually not mine. That was remnants of my last roommate. He just left it here, and I didn't care. I just kept it up because that's just how I roll, I guess. I don't know. But what else? Younger people, I mean, here, a lot of people know I'm 29. And I'm at A school with a bunch of 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And there's people here that are older than me that's in with me, like 32, 30, 33-year-old. I mean, treat each other exactly the same. No one says anything about my age or their age. It just, there we are. I don't know how it is in the fleet yet, but that's how it is right here. It's not really that big of a deal being that much older. So I think I should go ahead and end this video. Yeah, that explains everything.